Yeah. All right, what's good, y'all? We in this. Oh, it's Thursday. It's a good time to be alive. All right. Cool. So Indices just on an absolute rampage right now. Just kind of after the buy yesterday that we had over here on Dow, it came back all the way back and then kept going. NQ and S&P had epic movements. That shakeout on NQ that I know some of you took right over here, I believe. Yeah, you guys ripped this one. Good stuff. Right now, to just kind of give a quick review of the landscape, NASDAQ's been more bearish on the small time frame, just continuously making lower highs and lower lows, while Dow is doing the opposite, which is why I didn't end up selling anything up here. I was interested in these shorts over here for Dow, but as we started to work our way up to this level, there was just no signs of any sort of reversals, especially while NASDAQ was just going lower. So they were just doing, it just wasn't really working the way that I would want it to. So yeah, didn't end up taking anything, not in any trades. And we'll look at a little bit at everything else. I actually don't see, and you guys could let me know, maybe you see something that I don't. But yeah, I don't really see any entries anywhere kind of close right now. We could work our way back to the low, right? This 5-minute, 15-minute low that we have here now. This is new. If you're looking at this structure, overall, big picture, we do have this zone down here that I'm still interested in. But we definitely had a big spike down before the continuation yesterday. So we'll depend on that. So I'm gonna get into the small time frame. Excuse me. So I think we can get down to here. I'm not in a rush for this buy because I also want to see what Dow can look like. So Dow Jones and London had a clear spike down to here, but time sensitive. All right, cool. Yeah, I'll take a look at what you got, what you're looking at here. And then we had a big sell-off here yesterday as well before the continuation. So you have this move, which it looks like we kind of already rejected out of as well. Not after we broke the highs, but we kind of just played out of this area. So it's pretty efficient. So we'll just see how we work our way down, what kind of price action they're both on right now, and then go from there. So let's take a look at natural gas, since it is apparently time sensitive here. Oil, okay, I can look at oil too. Silver has been crashing in the way that I wanted to see yesterday. So now silver is a bit more bearish than gold. So I still have, there's a lot of, we broke above here. So I'll come back to this. This is also something that I'm open to taking a look at. Now that silver is way more bearish, I'm curious to see where we get to with gold. Maybe we have some buy positions. Oil buy. All right, I'll take a look at that. All right, natural gas. So natural gas trades into, and you guys can correct me if contract's different or something like that. But it looks like there's a push down right here. And then this is typically when you see a low fail like you do right here. You see how how we don't get above, we get a nice distribution. Then that doesn't mean that this is like a structured low that's got to sustain itself. Typically when you see it fail to make a higher high, it actually likes to break below these lows. This is like typically where you have it. So you do see a little spike down, and let me just make sure I'm on the right contract. For natural gas, I think someone just brought it up, so I'll just double check. Energies, let's see, volume, NGM, still with more volume from what I'm seeing here. Yeah. Cool. NGM still has it. Looks like it's maybe starting to switch over. Same thing I'm seeing with oil. Looks like the contracts are just almost even. So, okay. Anyways, to go back and zoom out where we have like this spike down, it really kind of starts like right here. So I can see the reversal right there for natural gas, where I have it here. And then the other level, which is a very, very clear liquidity spike down, is right here. So let me actually double check this on the, so I'm looking at micros, but obviously the mini chart might look a little different. So 1 second. So we got NG. My bad. Not what I wanted to do. NGM. I just had a Bitcoin alert go off. I don't remember why. I think it was getting to an imbalance or something. But okay, with NGM, so let's look at the difference. Yeah, okay, so that's why I double checked this. Look at how on the mini, there's not a spike down. The micro spikes down to here, but the mini doesn't. The mini is just an imbalance fill. While on the mini and the micro, you do have this spike down. So I do think it's possible that we get over to here. However, it kind of looks like it already cleared liquidity and it might be looking to form some sort of shakeout here. So I'd say I'm going to keep this in the loop, see if we kind of keep building out, rolling out over here, and then we can kind of get a trade going. Maybe we get a shakeout after we cleared all of these lows, or a mitigation setup. So we'll see. So if this decides to stay up here, then that could be the case. Otherwise, if not, so let's start to do some preparation. If it doesn't, then we have a possible setup down here. So I'll have this marked up either way. Okay, so that's natural gas. And I had oil set up that I was waiting for down here still. Yesterday I talked about wanting to sell oil, but then we end up not getting there. We were short. Right now, and I'll look at oil from this point of view, but right now what we've seen is we keep breaking below and then it just eats that up again. Comes back down. Looks like you get a mitigation here for this to continue to the downside again. So it's kind of struggling to get below this 15-minute low. It spikes down, comes back in, down, back in, down, right back in again. So I understand why we're looking for buys. And then, excuse me, from a selling point of view, if we can lock in a good, like, if we can really just get proof that market wants to maintain bearish structure, then I'm open to selling oil up here above 102.60. Don't have that yet. And then, like I saw Harshly mention, with the low that you have right here. So here is the low at 99.39. So if we go over to the left a little bit, you can see there's the same lows here at 99.41, 99.39. So it does end up making equal lows from Tuesday's London session. Okay, so here, this is where you have a slight disadvantage, because you could consider this as just a creation of more liquidity. Honestly, it looks like it rejected the order block first, and then it came down here for this. Let me look at CLN, since we're kind of seeing the volume change, and it's getting pretty close. I haven't looked at when it's the actual rollover. I think it's tomorrow, or is it today?
What's the website for that?
You can go to barchart.com/futures, and then you can click on the asset to see which one it is. So, for example, here, I'll just pull it up right here. Here you can see the volume. So like these are really close. They're kind of splitting. And then same thing with natural gas. It's the new contract is kind of getting pretty close. So if we look at these, it's a little interesting. Like that's why I want to keep in mind both sides of it, because these are starting to look a little different. And then so like CLN here, if you look at CLN and where it spikes down to, this also looks like it gets down to equal lows regardless. So regardless, the buy looks a little bit more sketchy. The sell looks like it's a lot more orchestrated with the CLM contract than it does with the CL. And CLM, bigger move. At the time of this happening, there was more volume over here. So if we get back up here, I'm interested in it. Half R on NQ. What did you take on NQ? Drop it in the school chat. Let's see here. All right. What's good, y'all? What's up, Edgar, Brandon, Seth, Edgar Garcia, Edgar Salinas, Gerardo. What's good, guys? So yeah, let me know if you're trading something. Post it in here. I'll look at it. All right. I know I'm late on the chat over here, so I'll go take a look at the chat. Okay. So obviously there's a lot going on right now across the board with the markets. I'm going to tackle on indices real quick just to get a good, a reset after we've had New York Open. We're 8 minutes in, so it's a good time to do that. We have pending liquidity sweeps of London high over here and of Tokyo highs. So if we clear this, maybe we can start looking for a shakeout. But we got to let it form, right? Got to let the market take those out and then just immediately dump, drop. And that way we can kind of see if it's wanting to form that retail break and retest or not. So you said to R on NQ or YM. You keep going back and forth. Oh, this one. Yeah, this is the one that I brought up. I was like, this move right here. Wow, what a drop in there. Jesus. So yeah, I was more focused on the other things. I forgot about this idea. What a massive drop. This would have been a good buy. Yeah, I mean, crazy. This reacted at 835, so it sold off on New York Open and then instantly played out of here. So taking out the majority of, or a good amount of London sessions movement. Meanwhile, we had NASDAQ didn't drop at all, right? NASDAQ just went straight up, and then we had Dow going straight down. And then once it got to that zone, Dow was just like, all right, cool. My job here is done. Nice. So cool. That's what's up. Great trade for you guys. Anybody who took that? I see Corey took that. Anybody else? Take this little move right there. Okay. So okay. What can we do here? If the market starts to chop up, like let's say we start to kind of consolidate up here and it maintains this, then we could look for a shakeout. We didn't really take out London lows or Tokyo lows yet, so I want this to really prove itself to me. Like I really want to see good structure, market like really trade up here so we can take another position. Otherwise, there's a good chance that the markets are going to want to take out this consolidation as well. In there, Drevis is in there. Marty, you're a beast. Corey, took profit. Well done, sir. Okay, so we have this silver and gold move. So silver now melting into this zone that I have marked up over here. This low was formed on Tuesday during New York session, and then gold now is also working its way there. We had bullish structure here for a good, 6 hours or so. We've worked our way in. We've held this down pretty well. These levels of support have been here. So now looking at this, silver is dropping way more aggressively. So I do think gold can hold this level. And buys look good to me around like 46.60, like in this range. We've seen some pretty good reversals. So something like this looks good. I'll zoom into price action here in a second. But there you go. Right now we're almost at a 71% pullback on gold, while silver is almost at an 886 pullback. So I'd actually really like to see silver break below the lows, take out these buyers, break this order block too. So let's see it. Right, let's see how this rallies. Right now there's some support liquidity to break through as well, so I can see that happening. And then let me look for the refined entry over here. So as we're zooming in a little bit more, gold over here, going back to kind of like the reaction and the movement, we see gold sell off and then rally. Here there's just a couple moves, a couple minutes where the market will kind of stall out before it continues. So trading down to here, there's really not a key area price for reversal other than what we've seen in the past. So if you look left, right, you'll see some key areas where the market keeps reversing. It looks closer to 46.58, 58, 60, right around here as well in the past, 61, 62. So like this zone, this is a pretty common reversal zone. So I like the buys in this area at 46.60. I'm gonna just keep it at a clean 46.60 here. And we've seen it reverse several times out of here. So let's see if this is where we get to. And then, I mean, this is super choppy. So with this squeezing so much and with all the liquidity available over here, I think minimum you'll be seeing a 2.5R with the chance of this breaking into these higher levels. So conservatively, I like the 2.8R here. We'll kind of see how the rest of, like how silver's moving, how everything's coming together. But yeah, so we got this right here. So here's the setup I'm waiting for. We broke Tokyo low, but we just kind of traded into these equal lows. So I still think this could go lower. So for now, this gold setup looks good. I don't know if silver is Nah, silver isn't reacting as aggressively. All right, cool. So here are today's setups. May 14, 2026. We have, what was that, gold? Would you guys, so a question for y'all from a user experience, would you prefer that if I add more to these, I just make a brand new post? At least after we're done with the live session? Like during the live session, obviously it's easier. I can just update this, but like let's say I see something later or we have changes. Like, do you guys want to see the post? Like, oh, a new post, so you actually get a notification? Otherwise, you probably won't get one. All right, so NQ absolutely ripping. Dow working its way back down. So these are not on the same page. Okay. Now, I think I saw Corey, you asked me new post of ping you. Okay, I just don't want to be annoying with the new post. But if that works, cool. So now here's where some of you may be thinking, like, do I take the buy right here, right? It came up, moved sideways for 3 minutes or so, and then drops in. It's too much, too aggressive. There's a lot of liquidity sitting here on Dow as well. So these aren't great for me. This is not great price action. So even though Dow spikes down, there's a lot of support right here. So this is a lot of retail buys just sitting here. Let's see. I don't know. Don't want to dash. I go back and forth on these lines. It's the silliest thing, but I'm just like, aesthetically, what do I want here? So yeah, there's some money sitting here. So yeah, I mean, going for buys here, I don't love it. Looks like you're getting another bounce out of here. With the way that Nasdaq's moving, it looks like it's going for liquidity sweeps. So it took out London highs already. All of these sellers just got absolutely bodied. There was no motive to sell anywhere here. No, like, there's not a place where smart money is exchanging their capital. Even here, you have a small push higher, but not still, to me, doesn't really sell me on anything. So with nothing clear, I mean, I don't really see a reason to be in the market. I know at a habit you might want to be in the market, but is there evidence of anything? Not at least how I see it. Maybe you see something differently. You have a different perspective, belief system overall on the markets, then, that's a different story. But for now, nah, not really. Okay, so you guys saw how we basically, with gold, we spiked down. So we took out Tokyo lows. We traded to these equal lows as well. So I would love to be like, all right, cool, let's sell somewhere here with gold, but don't have a setup. It's just not there. So like nothing I can do here. And then you have, what's up? Oh, okay. So I was about to say, and then we had oil, right, where we were considering some ideas. You have a spike up here. Market chops up. It tries to break below. It fails to. So these are not great. The only other thing is this buy right here, that after it took out that London low, this is giving pretty good signs of a shakeout, right? It sweeps the low. It's consolidating, moving sideways. So honestly, like, just looking at it this way, a buy inside of this zone honestly looks pretty good. The downside, and it's whether you want to take the risk or not, maybe it's less risk or more, is right here. Are these lows. So with CLM, it actually looks like these lows are at 99.39 over here. And this low was at 99.39. Wait, what? Okay, whatever. So a little risky, I think. It's definitely not a full, like a normal, like what you would normally risk with everything has green lights, all confirmations are there. I could see a smaller risk, but you definitely have a red flag right here. These do play out every once in a while. It says whether it's worth the risk for you or not. Add in the before in the new post would be nice. Okay. Got you. Yeah, we can do that. For sure. All right, let me go through here. I didn't say hi. I gotta acknowledge who's spending time with me here. Seth, Joe, got Nance here. Huh? Low coffee. Drevis, what's good? Yoselin, good morning. We got some fast track graduates in here. Oh, shout out to Julian, who passed his FTMO challenge. 10 days into the fast track. Boom. Just like that. Karen was good. Brandon, Vaughn, grateful. Yeah, dude, we get to be here, just chilling, hanging out. What's up, Carlos, Isaed? Morning, Greg. ¿Cómo estás, amigo? Carnal. Dímelo, Alfredo. Rafa, what's good, Maria Elisa? What's up, Jane, Caius, Mike, Taylor? Good morning. Luis, Friday. Is it Friday? It's not Friday. It's Thursday. Okay. You got Zoe, what's good, G? Ruben, Daniel, got British Brandon. All right. Morning. All right. Greetings from the magician. Does not guess correlate with anything. Energy sort of, like strictly, not really, not as much. So natural gas getting slightly lower and lower here to these areas. So here, this liquidity capture on Monday traded down into basically the open, the order block of the open. So we have a little bit of an imbalance in here. I'm open to this idea. I'm going to take this with half risk. Oh, so before I continue, key reminders for everybody. One, and because I want y'all to make money, obviously. That's why I'm here every day. But if you're going to participate in the Tradeify Cup, remember to do that. I'm stoked for it. Nothing like an extra 200K, right? Like, sick. So yeah, remember that. If you haven't, lock in. You guys could use, I think we have a link somewhere. I don't remember what it is. I think it might be, let's see here. Get funded here. This is Lucids, or is this? Oh, that's the Tradeify link. Cool. So yeah, use this one. And then I'm going to be doing a giveaway tomorrow. Got a little giveaway action for y'all. You know what sucks though? If you guys remember the last time they did a cup, they had teams. So like communities were like, it was based off of communities, but they didn't do that this time. So it's kind of a bummer, not gonna lie. I wanted that, but it would be, I know we can all get this done. So it's cool. Like so many people can win. Like the top 1,000 are earning something. So, the community, our community is like 2,700 people actively, probably closer to like 1,000 that are like actually locked in. But yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to to get hundreds of people to lock something in there. So that's the first thing. And then, yeah, you know, their accounts are like 40% off if you're going to get two fundeds and all that. But what's been better with payouts and approvals has been Apex. It's still not elite for me, but there's better signs that they're paying out pretty quickly and all that. And I don't have a code for this or anything, but Apex is doing 90% off. So their 50K accounts are like $40 right now. So you can go look at their promo. Did that on their website. I can pull it up here as well, I think. I just actually found out today that I have a 50K funded account with them. I didn't know that. Yeah.
You forgot about it?
I forgot I had one. So that was cool. Found a new account today. That's always nice. But yeah, so they have 90% off. Just want to keep you guys in the loop. There's no affiliate here. But important thing, if you are going to take advantage, because $40 is pretty sick, honestly. The 25K is like $30 or $35. Where's this thing? But you want to make sure you do the end of day trail, okay? This one, not this one. The intraday will just follow you regardless if you even close the trade, right? So you want to do end of day. And then use whatever you use. Typically, most of you guys are using TradeAbit. And then, yeah, so $40. I think the code is save now. I don't have a code, but check it out. $40 is pretty decent. One-time fee, no rebill. And then, let's see. I think it's 30 days, though. So I think you actually do have to do it in 30 days. But for $40, that's a vibe. And then I don't remember if this daily loss limit is a hard breach or a soft breach. I think it's a soft breach. But this is a 50%, so you could actually, I don't even think it is 50%. I think you can pass it in like one day if you really want to. But then the payouts are 50% consistency rule on the funded. So just to give you guys a quick update there, if you guys want to check this out, I'm gonna cop a few at this discount. Like, it's pretty good. The 90% is so like extra because it doesn't normally cost like as much as it. It's just marketing, but it is. I mean, it is less than any account you can find right now. So yeah. Anyways, that's that. If you guys want to cop a couple, maybe one, throw it onto your trade copier, call it a day. All right. So silver working its way back down again, which means gold's probably not. I guess not dropping as aggressively. NASDAQ with a deep retracement and then just missing out on taking out Tokyo highs. Dow holding pretty decent over here. Looks like it's building on a trend line, liquidity here. So chances of this market breaking through at some point here is possible. Okay, silver on its way down, oil chopping up, breaking through out of consolidation, coming back down. This is a mess. So today I think is going to be one of those days where I don't take anything. Maybe there's something later in the day, but right now there's this natural gas trade still, right? This is one thing we're looking for. The micro trade into this little spike in and out action. Regarding news, we did have retail sales about 90 minutes ago, but that's it. Like, there's nothing else. If you want to look at the medium impact news, which can be catalyst, I guess, which included unemployment claims, but there's no news tomorrow. However, there's always the secret weapon of volatility, which is good old Trump. So be ready for anything at all times. Guys, what I want to go over in this, I'm going to make a whole write-up on this, but I have high conviction plays right now. 2 high conviction plays. Number 1, Adobe. All right, Adobe. Adobe is the high conviction play. If you can afford to do options, then this is also would be an options play. I'm going to give myself a couple months for this one, but like a 6-month October expiration. But if you can do it, then do it. Otherwise, if you're looking for just an investment, this is what I'm doing. Obviously, I'm just some dude on the internet. So do your due diligence. But financials, like this thing is like ready. So let me know in the chat if you guys want me to do like a slightly deeper breakdown on what and why I like this. And then otherwise, because I know this, not everyone here does stocks or anything like that, but I want to keep you guys in the loop. So yeah, Adobe, I think is an easy play. And same thing with Nintendo. Nintendo, there's no options route to this, but as just portfolio, like it looks fire. So if I get more than 20 people to drop an S in the chat regarding stocks, then just drop an S. If I get over 20, then I'll break it down. If not, then it's fine. The trader's version of finding money in your pocket. Yeah, for real. Do you still trade with Darwinex? Honestly, no. I stopped a couple years back after I got into futures. Because I was doing both at the same time, and I was having issues with managing both. Like, the reason my trades collapsed there were because of tech errors and mistakes. So I was like, you know what? Like, it's not worth it. But funny enough, this week I was looking to find, maybe some of you I don't know, are super like tech savvy, but I'm looking to find a like copy trader from like Tradeovate to MT5. I know it's different. You probably have to map out a whole bunch of symbols, but yeah, it's I'd love to get it going again because I do think it's awesome. As long as they're paying out. Yeah, for sure. Gold shakeout, possibly. How do you take a trade across multiple accounts? Is there like an external app? Yeah, there's a few different softwares. The one that I'm using is called Tradecopia. So you can check that out here. Let me see. I think at some point they gave me a link or something. I don't know if I have it anymore. But it's literally like Tradetopia, but swap out the T for the C, which is pretty cool. Like it just happened to work out like that. Let's see. In the description you can check. I don't know if there's a link in there or not. Okay. Let me answer some questions while we're doing this. And then I can get into... So let me answer these questions, and then it looks like the stocks might 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We need one more S from another individual, and I'll go over the stocks quick and kind of break it down for what I'm looking for. So yeah, YSN Ruin. Take a look at that. You basically just like log in your accounts, and then you can set how much you want them to risk. Like if you want them to copy exactly, if you want them to be half risk, 3/4 risk, 0.6 R, whatever, then you can do that. Natural gas news in 25 minutes. That's right. Okay. Yeah, Nancy's been talking about Adobe for a minute. Just waiting it out. All right, cool. So I'll walk you guys through then what I look for here for this. So a couple of things that I keep in mind, and so the biggest thing that I'm looking for is a big difference between price, narrative, and like the actual financial audit and the positioning it has like in its industry, in its landscape. So I'll kick things off with Nintendo here, right? So it's kind of like a 3-layer audit. First is the fundamental health of the company, then like the price condition, and then lastly the narrative. So first, and these might require you to know a few things, like what P&E ratios are. So I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna basically try to explain these key things. I'm not gonna tell you everything because some of it won't make sense, but some of this I'm gonna say it as simple as I can without you having to know all these fancy words. So one thing you want to look at is, okay, what's the revenue growth? So for example, this has dropped, and you can see the distribution here, but this has dropped 50% over the course of the last 6 months. Okay, price. But the revenue doubled, 2.3 trillion. So the revenue's doubled, its net profit's up 52%. So it's a strong growth year, but price does not reflect the growth of the company. Okay, so one. So strong growing year. The debt and the equity. So what kind of debt does a company have? So if we're thinking about that, then guess what? They have zero debt. Zero. They've been debt free for well over 5 years, so that's epic. So there's no debt. But yet this company is down over 50% from the highs, right? This company is down 53%. The free cash flow, 850 million. So it's positive, it's operating. And then its cash position. They're sitting on 2.3 trillion yen in cash. So they're ready. They're loaded up. So, okay, 4 out of 4. Like, fundamentals are just, everything is firing on all cylinders there. All right, now price-wise. Price has got back down to the weekly structure, weekly mitigation zone. We're looking at a well below an 886 pullback, so we're at like a 95% pullback in this structure. There's a massive sell-off here, so I wouldn't be shocked if we get a big pump sometime soon. So massive difference here. Huge difference, right? Block this sun that's behind me here. Here we go. Okay, so obviously there's a weekly, daily sell-off, sweeps liquidity, rallies. We just take out these lows, and then we're trading below 7,000, which is just a major level. So, okay, price obviously makes sense for weekly mitigation. And the narrative, right? Nintendo announced, so what they did was they announced the Switch 2. The price is going to increase a little bit, and then the sales are going to go down. So, cool. There's memory chip shortages, tariffs, all that stuff. So, I mean, yeah, the narrative, I don't know. It's not really an issue. Like, they were like, basically it's an industry-wide thing because of the AI-driven demand. So everyone is having memory crunch shortages. The narrative is basically an overreaction. Like, the market is pricing Nintendo like a company that's in a decline, but it's debt-free. Its IP is insane. The movies are coming out. Amusement parks are opening, and they're packed. New games, new console. So anyways, everything looks solid. So to me, this is the narrative just overreacting, and then it's this, like, smart money is just took out of these positions because they were up fat. Anyways, this to me is a no-brainer. Debt-free company. I think this is just going to continue to go on a nice little tear. So those are things that I consider. So basically, what's the financial fundamental health, the price, and then the narrative. Is there a narrative that goes against all the logic, which in this case is true. So that's Nintendo, and then easily I think you have a like damn near 90% move, like just easy without it having to break any highs. That's Nintendo. For Adobe, and before I go into Adobe, let me know in the chat if that made sense or if you have any questions, and then let me do a quick just skim through price action right now with everything while you guys maybe recap what I just went over with stocks. All right, so all that looks good. Gold is chopping up. And then natural gas still has 20 minutes till noon, so probably stays still. Okay, that's fine. So, okay, now to show you Adobe. Okay. Okay. So, with Adobe, same thing. The net income's up like 28% on the year over year. Its free cash flow is up 25%. So profits are accelerating despite the narrative. Debt and equities. This is the one that's like not terrible. It's not great though for debt and equity here. All right, sun is starting to pop out over here. So it is going up in debt, but interest coverage is like 530x, and debt is super covered, like well covered by how it operates, like the cash flow that it's operating with. So it's a little elevated, the debt, but it's not like terrible. It's not like in dangerous territory. And then we have the free cash flow, which is, it got about a little under 10 billion. So which is a 25% increase from the last year. And it's just, so it's compounding its free cash. So how much it has to work with. So, yeah, quality is financially, it looks good. Obviously, price-wise, if you look at this on Adobe, you're looking at from the all-time highs, which was like that 2022 COVID boom where a lot of companies kind of were overpriced. But yeah, it's down almost 70%. Now, so here you saw the distribution. Here was the mitigation of smart money. So this makes sense, like these sells, these were where you could have had puts. So then you have the reversals, right, constantly. And now we're working our way down to the weekly lows. So you had the market rip from here. It failed to make any highs. So when you see something like this, this low is vulnerable, so it can get below this. So now we take out these lows. So much liquidity has now been taken out since 2018. Looking at December, this is literally Christmas was the low, and then it rallies from here. So dollar cost average wise is good. And then what's the narrative? So why does this keep dropping despite financially the company's like more than fine? So basically there is the AI is going to replace Photoshop, and then Adobe's competition with Canva, and the CEO exiting. Earnings weren't what they thought they were going to be, and then all that stuff. Okay, cool. So there's the narrative. That's how they paint it. But Adobe's monthly active users just passed 850 million, so it grew 17% year over year. So over 1 in 10 people basically on the planet use Adobe in one way or another. Yes, there's competition with Canva, but Adobe's a lot more than just like a graphic design. So they have a lot of things that they have workflow. The CEO exiting, I mean, that's never really a big thing. Like Apple has a CEO transition happening going on. So that's just pretty normal. And then earnings, they actually beat the estimates. So yeah, it's up 19%, but then the stock dropped anyways. So this is what I'm talking about. A lot of gaps. So it's like, here's the narrative, but here's price. Value, price, not the same thing. So when this is a company that's underpriced based on the value. And I think this is just more of an orchestrated sell-off for easy like movements. So and then for AI, their AI strategy, their AI first annual revenue tripled year over year. Tripled. So their annual packages, they're literally closing 3 times more. So that just goes to show like people are looking to, like they know AI is going to be around, so they're locked in for the year. So anyways, fundamentally, financially, super strong. Not as good as Nintendo, but still really good. Its debt is okay. The narrative is like that there's an existential AI threat to Adobe, but they're incorporating in it, so I don't really see the issue. So yeah, anyways, both of these to me look fire. And from a stocks point of view, I think Adobe has more to grow. And you can run an options play on this if it makes sense for you. But Nintendo to me is like 10, like conviction at the highest. Adobe like a 10 out of 10 for Nintendo, and Adobe's like a 9 out of 10 for me. So that's my breakdown. Hopefully that makes sense and that's useful to you. To Nintendo, it's NTDOY. Yeah, so, and this is an important thing because Nintendo is a Japanese company. Okay? So, as a Japanese company, you're not buying their stock through like an exchange. You're picking it up through an ADR. So basically, it's like an over-the-counter. Like it's like a direct, like with someone else. You're doing the exchange there. So that's why you also can't really do options on there. But yeah, NTDOY, and then you definitely can pick it up on Webull. So yeah, Nintendo does trade in the U.S. as an ADR under the ticker NTDOY. Cool. Nance already answered all of these questions. Excellent. The share price, it's not going to look like this share price for Nintendo. It's going to look entirely different. Okay, cool. So that's that. I can make a formal training on just like evaluation, but for options, I need to. That's a whole other thing, and transparently, I'm not that confident in duplicating that yet with you guys. So yeah, I'm totally fine not being the resident expert with everything ever, but to make it at least simple, like to get started, I can do something like that for options. Like, but to be like, my thing is, it's pretty simple. It's pretty like straightforward. It's just timing. The timing is the tricky part. Like, how much time do I need to hold this thing, and like, what does this even mean? What is an option? So there are certain things that can definitely be taught to at this point, but I'm also finding my groove. Man, indices just don't stop. Do I like a Dow short? Let's see. My trading view just crashed out. Okay, the short, right? You're sort of like way up here from the high. Well, I don't know. The high looked like it mitigated right off the rip. Like it pumped up, it came down, and then the 15-second it came right back up again. Do you see that? So, and that was before New York Open. So there is this pump. So here is New York Open, right there. Like there's a 5-second push up, and then it drops, and then we have just liquidity sweeping around here. So you kind of had like a trend line, little vibe going on. I mean, yeah, there is a 5-second time frame. Here, I'll draw it out from, it starts at 52.16 and it pumps to 52.53. So you have a quick 37-point push higher before it rallies, or before it drops.
You said 52.16.
Yeah, 52.16 to 52.53. It's like this order block. You can kind of see the wick right there. From here, yeah, I mean, it's closed below the 1 minute lows, and it's been below this for almost the last hour. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty valid. Quick note again before natural gas news: NGN price action is in completely different places than NGM. Okay, let's go take a little dabble here. So these are chopping up here. Let's see if we've seen a transition in volume. NGM still, actually, if anything, it has more than it did earlier. So let's look at the difference. I feel like there's just not even a point in looking at this. Like, it's pretty clear that the volume isn't quite here yet on NGN. At least in my point of view. Like, we're not really, I don't know. I'm okay with just discarding this for now. Doesn't look like the volume's there. NG, not MNG. Ugh. This is so annoying. Okay, that's valid. Yeah, some of the props won't have it as an available asset to trade. So yeah, price action does look completely different over here. But this price action happened on this contract, so I think comparing it to whatever's going on over here isn't really fair. If you want to stay out, that makes sense. I understand wanting to stay out. But this is where price was unfolding on this contract. So I'm going to just focus on this one. Because it wasn't like all of this was happening on the other contract. So because, for example, and we can decide to trade NG if you wanted to copy over with everything, because you should be able to put a contract or two on this. So like you can see if you do 2 units, $260 risk here. Whereas like, so if you want to risk 260, that's 2 contracts on natural gas. Especially if some of them don't allow you to, and which some of them don't. They just choose what assets they want you to trade and not to. So we'll see here. A couple minutes out. Cool. We saw, looking here at NQ, swept London highs, didn't quite take out Tokyo highs, came back down to fill some of this imbalance. We started to move sideways here for about 11-12 minutes, came all the way up to here. You could consider this a version of a shakeout and then looking for the sell right there. So if you did sell NASDAQ, I think it's worth moving your stops to break even. We just saw Dow crash again, so it swept this liquidity. Cool. All right. So still no entry here for Dow. But now it's working its way towards this London low. Here it's now rejecting this order block right there. Here you had a pretty big move, right? So this was a liquidity capture. Market makes a higher high. It comes into the open in this imbalance, and then obviously a massive reaction. So this looked like an exchange. This to me looked like the mitigation. And then this already mitigated too. So the market rejecting order block, cool. The way that we're seeing the markets move right now, it kind of looks like they're back on track, like they're moving relatively together. So we'll wait it out. Natural gas currently going higher before news. It breaks out of this little consolidation first. I wonder if this is going to lure in some buyers before it dumps down one more time. Because now you have a breakout. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? About 40 seconds. Would I sell Weeble at a loss to buy Nintendo or Adobe? That's not something I usually do. Yeah, that's not something I usually do, honestly. Do I believe that? So, okay, that's a good exercise, though. That's a good, like, just, and I'll go into that here in a second. Oh. Bruh. All right. Epic pump here. Sayonara. What a move. What did this look like on NGN? Cool. Well. Yeah. So a lot of money just came in there. But looks like we weren't invited to the party. Huh. For now, I'm just going to delete any limits. Just kind of see what happens, how this unfolds, and where we go from here. Let me zoom out a little bit just to give some context. And then let's move this. So from the 4 hour, we have seen higher highs over here, but then we are starting to see distribution. So I do think that we can work our way down a bit more. And as we are witnessing right now, we've seen very aggressive price action. During Asian session here, we saw natural gas pump up here. So this lures in buyers, it starts to consolidate. You get the break and retest as well before the market just completely works its way down. And then we saw the market trade down here for an hour, right? Trade below the 15-minute low for about an hour. Struggled to stay below here, but it did trade below here for some time. So could you get a continuation and sell from over here again? I think it's possible. I would have preferred if the market stayed below this low for longer. So I don't think I'll approach this sell here with a full risk, like what my standard risk is, probably half. So I'll have an alert here and see what this looks like. But I am willing to short here in this area. Right there. Yeah. We'll see. It could still work its way down here. This could just fail and just keep, and then get back here again. So, got some options. And to wrap up here with indices, yeah, I got nothing. Got nothing anywhere near where we're at now. If the market decides to work its way lower with NASDAQ, then I'm open to some positions over here. So something like this could be cool. And then taking the buys closer to where we've had some order blocks here before. It's a pretty big range. This is a massive range. So if you wanted to go lower, be my guest. Find a point where you like the market reversals. And the risk reward that makes sense for you. So I'll have this one for you guys to consider. So here's NQ. Dow with a liquidity sweep and possible shakeout. This is a lot of liquidity, right? This is an hour's worth of liquidity, give or take, 50 minutes. So I could see it. The downside is Dow has just been way more bearish than everything else all this time. So this works its way down, comes back up, and you really only trade sideways here for 7-8 minutes. So you're kind of putting a lot on the line here. And then you have the liquidity down here. So I think a shakeout from where we're at right now isn't bad. It's just not great. So something like this to work its way back upwards, I think it's doable. I guess I'm too fucking slow though. But yeah, so something like this, I wouldn't go full risk on this. This wants to chop back down to here. I'll take a market execution. I'm not gonna buy up here though. I want it lower. I want a bit more. Jesus. All right, so I'll buy right here. We have some good support here. I went with half risk. Honestly, you could even consider less. It has some vulnerabilities. The demand wasn't as great, but you have a lot of the support here from the past. And now that we've cleared this, I don't think it's terrible. Plus, Dow and NQ are so not on the same page. I feel pretty confident with that. And then Dow clears this, just checking the minis to make sure that looks valid too. And it looks fine. Yeah, so let's see what we can do here. A little shakeout play here. Let's see. I don't even know what this random Apex account I have. Oh, okay. I remember why. All right. I have. I'll give away an Apex account if you guys can guess what drawdown I have available to this. The drawdown that I had when I opened this trade on this Apex account. Number. It's I'll give you a clue. It's under $100. $1. Oh, that's crazy. $1 is wild. Let's see. Oh, some of you guys got super close. Yeah, I only get one guess. No one's got it yet. $11.11. Nice. It's under 100. That's what I said. I'll give you all like another minute. Let's see if this thing wants to run. I don't have a lot of room, so. Oh. I think that's it. I think it's clapped now, maybe. Let me see. All right, that's a wrap. Y'all got close. Someone did the inverse. It was 31. So a couple of you guys guessed 30. Something like that. Yeah. Right now, mine isn't copied over 1-to-1. It's like a 0.2. So had I been 1-to-1, I already would have been clapped on that trade, on this on that account. So I'll keep you guys posted if I can get an account out of drawdown into a payout from $31. That would be pretty sick. All right, cool. Y'all, I'll leave you to it. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'm gonna drop the breakdown on the stocks in the school, any setup that we have going on. We'll talk about it over there as well. Yeah, and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna tighten my stop. Once we break above here, I'll tighten this thing. Right now we're running almost a 1R on this. And then I'm pushing this to way up here. So pretty good movement so far. Pretty decent. I've doubled my drawdown now. If I were to close. Nothing like a good challenge, right? All right, guys. Take care. I know some of you are already have been asking about next month's fast track program. For some of you that are a little newer to trading, and some of you newer to futures. So if you want to join the waitlist, feel free. And I'll drop you can just scan what's over here in front of me right now. Otherwise, guys, you might hear from us. So you might be hearing from my team, just so that if you're in the free community, our goal is that you're actually know where you like what resources to use. So you'll kind of, you'll be hearing from me or from the team, and you'll be getting directed towards the right resources for you. And for some of you that are in the right place in your trading, then, we'll see if it's the right fit for you to be doing the fast track or doing the syndicate with us. Sometimes, you guys want to do the syndicate, but you're not quite ready there. So we'll kind of have you go through the first step, which is fine, because if you run the fast track, what you invest in yourself with for the fast track goes towards the syndicate anyways. It comes included. So it kind of just depends on where you're at in your skills. But yeah, so if you hear from us, we're just looking to guide you into the right place with the resources that you need based on exactly where you're at. So much love, y'all. We'll be back here again tomorrow to wrap up the week. Let's see if this Dow trade takes us to the moon. And yeah, keep it up. Later, y'all.